Well, here we are playing Apocalypse Road, the McGowan Orehel Sugar Run, whatever. Um, I've done one turn through. Did I pull a point from everyone? I did not. Everyone gains one victory point because we made it through the full turn. I had myself a drink. Just a single vodka martini. Probably a couple of shots or whatever. And then took a nap, which I tend to do when I have a drink. Listen to War Child. And did some reading. But so I'm a little bit disconcerted, as I often am from a nap. More so than I would have been from drinking alone. Or just like the drinking doesn't matter. The nap is what disconcerts me. But had I come down here right after drinking, I would have been more aware of what the hell was going on. So what do? We got to deal out cards, and now we got to worry about how many cards people have. And for the most part, everybody's getting a full hand because people threw their cards away, but we get a couple of exceptions. Tomorrow, I'm going back to the bar, even though it's a Tuesday. Apparently there's a game night there that was started up by a friend of mine, so that'll be cool. And I'll probably play Cosmic Encounter, the Fantasy Flight one. I read the rules to it today. Anyway, let me deal out some cards and come back. Pink will be going next. There's a fairly decent pile of cards left. I'll probably get another deal out of that. So there's not going to be a lot of shuffling, which is important. I mean, we see the combat deck's kind of small. This doesn't get called on that much, the road events. So it should be okay. Let's take a look at Pink's situation. Pink has got to have 4 cars on the map. They got a couple of them here that could work together. They got this guy who might be able to do something to get himself into a pack and dragged along. I don't know how important that is. Trying to get into a pack that's not with your own cars. I mean, you might get dragged along, but ignoring the fact that I could get into the pack is also not necessarily wise. So I don't know. Let's see what we got. And I mean, being at the front of a pack isn't necessarily bad. So DAP is speed 4 with a frontal missile launch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I could do a quick push, be in the back of this, and, you know, that wouldn't necessarily be too bad. As long as I played the big +6 or the +5. Is pushing 2 cars more worthwhile? Because this could get detached and this could come around and push that. And then I could bail these into the set. I think I kind of like that better. I'm thinking maybe the diagonal lead movement could get me 1, 2, 3, 4 pushing into here and then get through. I like that. I don't know if it's going to work particularly well. Now, lead movement is the one where I am allowed to do I think as much lateral as I like. There could be a little cheat sheet card for this. There's no question that gave these in more bullet point type forms, because I'm finding myself having to read this whole thing again and again. So that rear linking only happens at the beginning. Regular lead movement could be used instead as well, but let's do the diagonal lead, I guess. I don't know. That might be really valuable to me. This is car 27, which is armed with an auto cannon in the front. I would rather hit somebody I'm getting in front of. So 511. 1, 2, 3. I guess this counts as lateral, so 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It does get me connected up, but not as well as I would like to. We don't want to do that. We want to do it this way. Although I guess facing kind of doesn't really matter. That's not right. 27 was the car. I did that wrong, didn't I? Back. Fuck. I fucked up. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 27. See, I can't do what I did, but I could do something else. This was back here. No, I'm getting pissed. I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think this was here, this was here, and this was here, I think. So 1, 2, now I don't have to do the lateral. I do a push, but then I pick this fucker up. That's what I didn't want to do, but I think I have to if I do that. Oh, fuck me. If I'm going to push everybody, it could be this. Lead movement, I could use this the same way, but I can't slip in here. So that wouldn't really help me. Let's take a big solo movement instead, I guess. I'm so uncertain. So that's a 12. Now I'm going to end up right behind this car with this. So I want to fire now. So I'll fire an autocannon at a 2 at HMX, which has a lot of damage on it. I hit. The autocannon does 3 points of damage. I might not choose this. I've just blown this car up. That gets pink a victory point. Okay. Now yellow's got to pick a car, and I'm not sure I'm using this card because I've got to fire first before I made my pick. So I will set these back up, but I got to think about yellow. Stuff available in the area. I'm going to bring this car in, and we'll just see what that all means. I don't know if I can link everything, but I got all the yellow cars nearby. Let's look at pink again and think about it. Our plan had been to do that big solo movement. I think we still want to do it. Okay. So we've got a 12 move, and we're just going to do it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This green line doesn't mean anything in this game. And now car 27 flips like this. Problem here, it doesn't flip like that. What the fuck? How are these? This should be facing this way. Okay, flips like that. The problem with this is these two cars might not take this. Well, no. I think they get it no matter what. Okay. And we get an event. Greasing the landing. Nobody's in the jump section, and this affects that. So nothing happens. And we move the die over. And I am exhausted by moving a car. Like, to me, the amount of thinking involved in making these decisions and the shit you got to keep track of is really getting in the way of the fun factor of this game. If it were a really good simulation, I might be arguing in favor of, I'd be arguing in favor of the simulation aspects, but it's not. This is a game that's a fun game, right? But it's definitely more painful than like Win, Place, or Show is, or Win, Place, and Show. And, Speed Circuit, I remember not being this painful either. This is getting to the level of pain, although in a different sort of way, that Car Wars has. Without any of the realism that Car Wars is attempting to have. I don't know. It would be nice to have, the relaxation of sitting down and letting the other players take their turns. My own turn is going to be a hell, right? And I'm going to be sitting there, hopefully with a pipe, puffing away, thinking, wow, I'm going to have another turn where I have to figure this shit out again. All right, let's look at yellow. We got a car stuck in here. We got a couple there, one there. Let's see what we got. I got no idea. Like, that 300 may not have been a great choice. But that's a lot of firepower. I'd like to do something with this, but because pushing means I get linked up. So that's car FN1, who is not very fast. Any of these would pull all this shit with me, I think. Yeah. Lateral movement will not unlink the cars behind. So that would suck. I don't want that. Line movement. I'm not linked until after I do lateral movement. That's not bad. Pursuit movement. Okay, cars are not considered linked and are not pulled on when it moves forward. Cars behind are not. It's similar to line. The active car in pursuit can move laterally freely until it moves forward. This would be the best choice in terms of getting rid of a crappy card for what I want to do. I don't want to move too far. What am I? I am FN1 4. I can't move all that far. Let's use Do we want solo +2 or +3? Well, we don't know. But we have an autocannon in front of us. We're going to fire that first. And we're firing at a defense 3. Hey, we hit. But all we do is one hit on M48. That was a beat up car. We had a chance of hitting it. And now, I don't know what we want to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think the +2 is fine. That gets us 6. I don't know. We got a couple of shitty cards. Yeah, we're going to have to at least play the +2, I guess. But we don't want that one. We want this one. Alright, let's play the shitty pursuit movement card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to here. We sent one of our cars over the line. APB was already over from earlier. This flips over and we're done. That gets us to green. I was having an easier time before. Now it's really beginning to like burn my brain just to like get movements. And you know, I set this car up so he's able to push his own, all kind of shit like that. That maybe I didn't want to do. Now, I have all 4 cars to choose from. And yes, I had that at the beginning of the game, but I had some, you know, kind of rubrics that I was using that might not have been wise at the beginning. Well, I got 2 cars together here, one on his own here, who I'd like to get dragging, and one that maybe could get here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's see what our movement rates are like. Okay, we do have a +5 solo movement. That could burst us that 9 movement points. I think go for it to try to get my cars together. Car 14 has an autocannon in the turret. If I blow this thing up, that would be great. But I think I'd rather blow up Owl. I guess. I don't know. See, the advantage of shooting this is I'll be behind it still. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we draw one of these first. Into the weeds. Place a spin around on the active car, then put it on the outside lane. It may not shoot until after next move. This, I think, is the same as the suppression thing. And that means I lose a shot now until the end of my next move. So that's not cool. And I mean, that's the random shit. You come up with, you know, a strategy and it's just blown away. For blue, we have a couple of cars here, which is really sweet. We also have cars here, which could maybe function together, but I could maybe get that line into place first. So I'm going to go with a normal solo movement for car 96, J96, which has a machine gun in the front. Unfortunately, I'm not going to want to shoot that, but that's okay. So it's 6, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That gets me right there. I hope that's my car. Looks like it's facing the wrong way now. It's a truck or something. And that puts me over here. On my way down, I dropped my pipe. Like, what happens is the stem gets loose. Older pipes, the better older ones, had like a screw inside of them. I don't have any of those left, I don't think. But maybe not really older. Really older were like this. And maybe more expensive new pipes also have a screw. Let's take a look at purple. Purple is sitting here, and then a big line here. I want to move my line. Did blue did not cross the finish line. I've got to try to pay attention to stuff. There's too much stuff. Too much going on. Got lead movement which pulls. I had decided I like pulling. Lead movement has the capacity to change lanes. At the start of movement, it has this effect. Line movement does not. You can only change lanes right at the beginning, so I'd end up pushing this thing. So I will, you could use the overtake or the solo to push, but I will move with the lead movement card on 115. Now, 115 has a missile launcher in the front with +1 turreting. I can't drive, fire, and then shift, so fuck it. I've got a speed of 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now I drag these through all of that. Even though I got a big bad missile launcher, I can't shoot ahead of me. I do get a victory point for crossing the line. This is purple. And then I get one of these because I had a star. Bottoming out. All cars in the jump take a damage. Nobody's in the jump. That puts me to black. I want a pipe. What happened with the pipe is, you know, it separates from the stem. It fell down the stairs, threw ashes all over the place. Thought about sweeping them, but I'm a slob. All right. Black has this car, this car, this car, and this car. I think I want to use something from back there if I can. This one has a suppression. I don't know what a real suppression does. It can't fire or make a collision at all. I think, ooh. Okay. I think what I'd like to do, I don't know, it's ugly because a lead movement will link these. A push, I'll bring these. And I won't be able to grab this with a push. CR5 is speed 4. That would get me close to this. So 6. I don't pull anything with me. Oh, what does CR5 have for a weapon? A missile launcher in front, which I don't want to fire because it's at my own car. Go like that. That's going to put me back to pink. I feel like I need to take a break. Going around once, I don't know. Can I do another one? I'm really beginning to feel exhausted by this game already. I've got the Q card, which would allow me to pull 27 and get them closer to the pack. I'm probably not going to be able to connect up. Q has an autocannon in the turret, which might mean some interesting things. I want to play a lead. I have 3 lead movements to choose from. Q has a speed of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A 2 lead would just put me right up there, and I could shoot somebody. Let's do that. I could push more, but let's do that. Q is going to fire its autocannon at CR5. I hit for 2. Yellow's got so many damn choices. I feel like I gotta move car 36 here a little bit. Of course, other cars have an option to do things. And that's the problem. I think this is what I want to do with 36. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to missile launch at this at +1. That'll hit. That does 2 to APB. Okay. And now I have 36, which is 5, 6, 7. 2. This is linked. Kind of comes here. 3. This does not get linked with the lead car. 2, 3 to here. 4, 5, 6, 7. I could pull in closer to try to get him, but I think I've got enough there. I fired my weapon, so that's all I do. By the way, I watched Marco's review on this from, 5 years back or whenever the game came out, as opposed to me actually wanted this game. First of all, he looks really, really fluffy in it, which is weird as hell to see. I'm used to him, his hair was always curly and everything, but his beard and his hair all over the place. Kind of an interesting look, but he really liked it. But one thing that he mentioned, he also really likes Thunder Alley. Um, but he's never been that big about the simulation quality of games, I think. More about the thematic feel, and he was into war games because they had that thematic feel and the strategy. And I haven't seen him doing much in the way of war games that I look at recently. So, but I don't look at many. But one thing he mentioned was the opportunity for diplomacy in the game. I'm not sure. First of all, I'm not sure how much value it is. Yeah, maybe there's a I can push you if you push me type of thing that'll happen. Just like it does in Circus Maximus and some other stuff. But I feel like for the most part, that's going to be pretty limited. And honestly, I'm not sure I'd want it in this game. It almost feels like there's not room for that kind of diplomacy, right? There might be room for let's work together, as a general, maxim, because if we're working together, then we have, say instead of 4 cars, we have 8 cars that we're just working with each other to make a more general. And 2 people who do that are going to have an advantage over anybody who doesn't. And then the question becomes, what is the optimal working together deal at the beginning? But what I kind of feel is, while you're driving, you probably don't have a lot of capability, to be speaking over to other teams. You're probably not on their radio frequency or anything like that. And in a way, it feels almost like cheating, the same way that the 1830 concept of like, oh, well, if X number of us play without any consideration of bankruptcy, then one of us X will win. It feels wrong to me, right? I don't know. All right, let me relight and hit green. Earlier, I'm almost out of tea. Okay, so green, our car that's furthest back has actually already gone, unfortunately, and is spun out with a suppressed. Which means these are the 2 that I'm most interested in fucking around with. And almost anything will work. Which means I think I'll play... I hope I'm giving the victory points out where they're deserved. Did yellow just burned through it, didn't they? Fuck. Yeah, I don't remember where the yellow cars were. I think they just collected a whole bunch of victory points, right? I think FN1 just went at a speed of 6. I don't know who was across the line already. My ashes. I've got a vacuum, but... And since I vacuumed back in April or whatever. Okay, so I went upstairs, and that's why I'm back down. Briefly, I'm going to leave this here and rethink it. There was only one there, so one of these gets converted. Luckily, I have a video. This is the kind of problem that happens playing with other people as well. Is that, oh shit, I did all this thinking to figure out how to maneuver my cars and forgot that I got to pay attention to this. It would be helpful if this were a little bit more obvious. Luckily, I have the camera, so I could go check. I don't often do that kind of thing. I would have given it 2, because that looked likely, but yeah, I just didn't remember. And, you've got these kind of Oh, shit. How many of my cars just crossed the finish line? I know one did. I think two did. Well, it turned out it was only one. So, like, I could have ended up giving this guy an unreasonable lead because of that. And other players would be like, I don't know, man, I'm not paying attention to your cars. Well, I'm not either, because I'm paying so much attention to this cumbersome system that I have to move, that I have all this decision making to make about how I'm going to shift my vehicles and everything and what I'm doing. And there's just so much going on that the very simple act of the victory condition is getting blurred and falling much, much less important in line for my thoughts than how I move my cars. Now, in a more standard race game where you have to go through so many laps or whatever, and that's it, and then you determine who came in first, second, and third, none of this is a big deal. You'd be able to remember, oh yeah, this guy was still on the first lap or whatever, as opposed to this kind of thing. But the way this game works, you're just collecting up victory points for kills and for crossing this line. And they both feel weird. And there's going to be weird things where there's like a card out there that has damage markers on it, that each time you cross the line it's worth 2 instead of 1, and each time you kill there's also one for each time you kill a car, it's worth that, where you have to remember more of this game state. Game state in combination with these kind of complex decisions that you have to make often gets me in trouble, and you saw that if you saw me play EU Pop. Some of these more modern games just require too much mental juggling for this poor little old mind. Whoa, this did not charge. Back down here with a pipe that will not fall apart as easily. What happens is the humidity and the heat and everything inside the pipe, it makes the wood swell or relax, and some of them just start getting loose over the ages. All right, we're on green, and I already looked. One green is already gone, obviously, and is knocked off, and then I got those two in that. And I was trying to consider what to do with these guys. Now, I could just pull ahead, but these guys might push me, who knows what. There's no real reason to play a card for them yet, but there is a good reason to play these. I think pursuit movement is what I want. I think I want to go a lot. I could use this. It would allow me to push in the same way. And I could get rid of this tailing. I don't know which is better. I think I want the tailing if I'm going to use pursuit. So I'll use APB with the pursuit. APB's got an autocannon in a turret. That's interesting. Okay. Now, pursuit can't change lanes after it moves forward and links, which means I might end up pushing these guys. APB is... Now maybe it makes more sense to play this other one. The push me, pull me. Ugh. I got a 4. Okay. Well, let's say I took APB for this, or I could take this. Let's take a look at the numbers. 138 is very fast. Yeah, why don't I do this instead? What does 138 have? 138 has a machine gun in the front. That sounds good. So 1, I've got 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is following. 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got to flip like this. This comes up and joins me. And now I can fire my gun, but I gotta check this. Get there. The active car can move solo 1 or 2 movement points as long as no occupied space is entered. I could do this, but it's a may. I think I'd rather stay chained and get my shot in. Am I wrong? I don't know. 138 gets to fire. I'm at +1 targeting at a 2. I hit. I get a +1 and a suppression. Or I get 1 hit and a suppression. And this is on J96, which is cool, I guess. I don't know. Goes there. This goes here. Bunch of blues all together. Where's the other blue? He's not there. He's right here. He's the one I want to move because I want him getting in this chain. I think pursuit movement sounds best. LMZ has this, I can't fire, I don't know when I can't fire. It's in here somewhere. May not shoot until after the next move. That's why I have these suppressions off to the side. Oh, my battery shot. Okay, I'll be back for my 15 seconds. I don't know why you need this spin around here. This is what I don't get. Yeah, I don't think there, it just tells me that I'm off track. Okay. So this is, both of these essentially go away. I'm not allowed to shoot. I'm not allowed to shoot when I'm off track anyway, so that's not a big deal. So this M77 is 5.7. 1, 2, 3, no, 4, 5, 6 into here. And then I push 1 more, and I'll stay on the inner track, I guess. And that flips this guy. Now I would be able to shoot, but there's nothing for me to shoot. I have a missile launch coming out the front. So that's fine. People. These two trying to catch up to this. Owl looks like my best shot. That has a missile launcher out the front. I'm probably not going to be using that. Because again, I'm going to be trying to move my cars forward. But this LZ3 is interesting too, because if I had a lead movement, I think it is. Again, eventually these will get familiar enough. Line movement doesn't do what I want it to do. Fuck. Oh, this is ugly because I'd kind of like to play either. I'd kind of like to be able to get both of these going, but I have nothing that allows me to do this right. Because I unlink when I use one of these forward motions. And all my cars are right where I want them. Pay attention, I got a cross there. Ah, bother. Yeah, this is not a good set of cards. That's what it comes down to. Because I can't pull this in with me, and I can't pick this up without making the lane change. One, two, three, four, five. What does Owl have? Owl is very slow. I got a shitty line movement 1, which is I think what I'm going to do. And that gets me a 5. I think this is a differential of lanes here. Owl comes up here, and I get 2 of these. And this is the thing, the stars that generate those tend to be on pretty good cards. Puts me on black. Black's got 3 cards here, and then 1 here, so I'd like to catch up. So what I'd like to do is bring M48 down and move these guys forward. Pursuit movement looks most appealing. Solo could work. Let's do the pursuit movement. Leaves me more options for that car. Not going to fire M48. Oh, am I limited? Hold on. Pursuit movement doesn't work because I can't move up to here. Once I move forward, I can't change lanes. So it has to be my solo movement. Guess I could ram something. Okay. So M48 is a 4, is a 9. I've got an autocannon and a turret. That's not going to really help me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And hold on. I've got 9 total. 4, 5. This color is pink, I think. They just scored. 6, 7, 8, 9. M48's the one that's moving. So 3 black cars move forward. And I didn't get to fire my turret. Too bad. But I get this. Spin around. Off track next to the inside lane. I'll be here. I'm not going to worry about the suppressions. They're pretty obvious. I'm not on the board anymore. Come around to the first player. Need to relight my pipe. Fortunately, has moved both of these. Hasn't gotten their victory points yet. That means I'm down to the HWK DAP. I probably want to move HWK. It has a machine gun in the rear, which I'm probably not going to get to use because I have to move after. Although I could drag somebody if 061 was really shot up, and it is, that might be an appealing choice to get it behind me. CR5 is also really shot up, so I could choose either one of them. I don't want to push my own car this way. Why don't I take the +4 regular lead movement, two. Now I'm linking all of this. What was I at? I'm at 12. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8. Let's get everybody together here. 8. I'm at 12? Yeah. 9, 10, 11, 12. This whole line moves up. Now, I could have done other stuff like lane changes and stuff, but because I'm doing HWK and not this one, it only makes sense for me to drop everyone. Now I get a star before I fire. Fuel leak. The active car takes a damage. Having trouble finding the chit. HWK takes a hit, but I got a machine gun in the back now. I'm shooting at a 3, which is not what I want to shoot at. And I don't get a hit, unfortunately. Ugh. Over here to yellow. Yellow would really like to move this car and get it into position there and move all my yellows. I have a couple of lead movements, not exactly what I want to do. I don't really want to pull these yellows with me. 300 has a missile launcher in the front. I'm going to be foregoing that. So I think I'll do the big solo movement at 7. 1, 2. Ooh, wait a minute, I do get to fire. 1, 2. I didn't have a diagonal, did I? I did not. I could go here, 3. I don't have to drag anyone. 4, 5 into here. How's LC3? It's not that badly shot up. What was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now what's bad about this is purple might want to do shit, but it's hard to make my decisions, you know? And this works. It gets me somewhere. This is the kind of agonizing I don't do, and that's fine. But there's so much of it that, like, is just figuring out what is a decent move, even. All right, let's relight. There's 3 cars in this linkage. That's interesting. A solo movement would work very well. A lead movement, not so much. Ram, not that interesting. Pursuit works wonders as well. Of course, I'm going to move all the fucking blue cars with me. But whatever. This is ARP or APB or something like that. It's got an autocannon in a turret. I want to fire that first off because I'm not going to get another shot. I'll fire a DAP. DAP's got a 3. I got no bonuses. I don't hit. Pursuit movement pushes the front. APB goes 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And everybody comes up with us. And then we get our event. And who are we on? We're on green. Okay. Out of gas. Active car takes 2 hits. APB is in a lot of trouble. Now, again, I just don't feel like this makes sense. It's out of gas, so it takes hits. Like, gas should be another factor that should be being tracked, right? And gas should be, like, the slipstream effect should give you that. In order to get all that, what do you need to do? You need to do something, and I think this is actually covered in Car Wars now, like in the deluxe version, which is if you follow a car, you get that slipstream advantage, and you're able to get a little extra speed off of it or something. Upping my battery. Oh, it was working. It's just not gonna work. Fucking thing. Okay. Blue has all their cars in a line here. I think I need to do a pull here, but I could do a double action. The lead movement is my only pull. It goes both ways. It is what I want to do, though, by far. It kind of doesn't matter if it's Z88 or 21. Lead movement, I don't remember. I would be able to bypass this with that lead movement. So I want to do 21. 21 has an autocannon in the turret. I'm going to fire that to begin with because I'm not going to be near anything at 614. That's a 3. I don't get that. I'm at +6. $11. 1, 2, 3. Get these all here. Uh, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And these all come through there, and I've detached a green car that was in front of me. And that's this one. He already shot. He gets his card. Side swipe. Must move laterally one lane of their choice if possible. Well, that kind of sucks. I'll go in. Not what I wanted. I wanted to keep my cars all in a line. Maybe I can do something, but I don't think I have the cards for it. I'm going to pause because I need to get a new pipe, and I got to fuck with that thing. I need to either eat or sleep soon. It's charging now. How about that? And I've eaten too much already today. I'm putting on weight again, and I don't like it. All right, purple. I got these 2 cars. Let's check LZ3. That's got a turret. I could actually shoot this thing. 061 has a lot of hits. That is a definite factor then. Line movement would allow me to drag him? I don't think so. I don't think line movement does. Now, line movement allows me to move laterally without collecting anything. I want LZ23. I want to fire first. So this is a 2 LZ23 or LZ3 or whatever. It's just an autocannon. I hit, I do 3 hit points to 061, which kills it. It's on the gray side, which means I have to pick, I get a point. I have to pick a black car. It's set on the gray side because 061 was set on the gray side. So, what was my plan? I know I had one. My plan was to use one of these. This is LZ3, which is 5. That gives me an 8. 1, 2. No. What was the deal here? I have to move forward. I can do this. 1. No, I can't shift. Fuck. This is not allowed to do lateral after it moves. This is not good. One, 2. I don't remember my number anymore. It's 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm here. I hope I took my victory point. I think I did. Who knows? On black. Black has 2 cars available, both in here. I want a fairly weak movement. AWC in 79. I may have been stupid here. I have a turret in here. I have an autocannon in front here. This kind of sucks, mainly because my autocannon would go at this. So I probably picked poorly. I think I'll do 79 first, although that's the faster car. '79 has a turret. I'm not going to get a shot in with that because I go at least 10, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I'll take a WC, which is the slower car. I think I'll use the line movement. What did I say it was? I don't remember. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 up to here. And nothing fancy. And that, and now my battery's dead, or not running. That is going to put us back to the start, and I need to pause here just because I start feeling faint or something. I either need to sleep or eat, one or the other. I've had enough. I think I've had enough sleep, and I might be staying up kind of late tomorrow, but because I had a nap and I didn't get up all that late. I don't know what's going on. But I really shouldn't eat. Back down here again after both eating and sleeping. I had a hot dog, and then I was like, I'm tired again. Which means I'm kind of punchy again. But this is the way I live, is in general, the last couple days maybe not, but quite often I sleep for a couple hours, then I'm up, and I'm back asleep. It didn't used to be that way. Not that I necessarily slept through the whole night, but I generally only like woke up once for a little while and hung around and did things. But now I'm taking more and more little naps. Okay. So we're on the last card going around. Pinky has to use this car. This makes it much, much easier. I've got a car. So I'm in a weird position where I've got a car behind me that I'd like to take with me. But if I do so, I take these two with me. And Black's doing okay. Better than I am, I think. Hard to tell. Yeah, it is really hard to tell. Black's got a couple of dead cars, but so do I. Gosh. This will drag them all. And honestly, I think it's what I want to do. DAP has a missile launcher on the front that I can't use. I guess. All right. Sorry, DAP. So that'll be a 9. Now the problem with this is Black can actually push my two cars apart. And we have to take a risk. Open road. If the active car is alone in a sector, it is. It may move as forward as many sectors necessary to become linked with the next car in front of it in any lane. Must stop at the crossover if both lanes are blocked. There's no crossover in this. Sure. May move. Let's do it. That seems pretty nice. Again, there's, that kind of jump is just inexplicable in a race, right? As much as the rest of what goes on in this game is. All right, Yeller, where's the Yeller car? The Yeller car is leading all the yellow cars, so I definitely want one of these. Go big. What am I armed with this J16? It's an auto cannon in the front. Well, okay. That goes 12. That's just perfect. We just brought our whole pack. By the way, somebody gave me an explanation of why on a few NASCAR tracks, cars behind improve the speed of the cars in front of them. And I've had this given to me before, honestly, at least in some sort of hand-wavy sort of way. This gave me some docs to look at, some links to look at. I'll buy that, okay? But it doesn't boost things, in a sense. What a line of cars does in this is it gives you a multiplier on your overall speed. Anyway, we got to draw this. Race bonus. Place 4 damage markers on this card. Well, I got to get 1, so let's pull 4. While in play, all cars crossing the finish line will score 2 extra victory points, or 2 victory points total. And I'll put that there because it's close to the victory line. I warned you these were coming. But now I get to shoot at a Defense 2 car with an autocannon. I hit and do 4 hit points to AWC. AWC doesn't have any hit points. I'll just take 1 for that because I don't know. That would be a nice killer blow, a 4 hit point shot. But anyway, get up here. We're on green. Green has this car, which would like to push the car directly in front of it, but would also be okay with pulling this guy. No, it's this one. Yeah, I would like to do something with those cars. Blue, a whole pack of blue cars. Blue's not doing all that well. Probably doing about as well as green. I don't know. I probably want to move my cars if I can. I have a Ram. M77. Can I knock that thing out? Because that would hurt them a lot. And my car is 614, which has an autocannon. M77, it doesn't have a high defense. Okay. I can do something nasty here, can't I? Lead movement is the one that lets me pick things up from behind. How's my autocannon positioned on this thing? It's in a turret. I could shoot this damp or DAP or whatever. It doesn't have a lot of damage on it. What happens with 614? It's going to have a 6 movement. So what I'm seeing doing is 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't go back here. Not going to be able to move very far, so pushing those blue cars isn't that huge a deal. What about the diagonal Ram? That would be 1. If I got a kill, it would be huge. But that doesn't put me in the line I want to be in. So this is what I'm going to count on. What is the car there? There's a couple of blues. M77 has some damage in it, so I'm going to actually do this way. What did I say? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have to push this forward. 5. Now I could slide in for another one, or I could push all these cars forward another one. If I slide in, I still take these cars with me because of the green. I'm going to just push these ahead. I think that makes it harder on blue with this car. I'm not sure. And then we're going to shoot 614's autocannon at a 2 defense. It's just a normal autocannon. I get a 0. Not good. Oh, well. Puts me on blue. Maybe blue will drag me. Blue's only car they can use is their lead. Dragging 3 of my cars seems like a good deal. I have a Ram, you know, like if 27 were badly damaged, it might be a good deal. I can't take anybody with me. Z88 has a 6 speed. How's 115 purple? That's undamaged and past the line. This is a sucky hand for blue to have. They really wanted a trailer. And this is one of the things where a little bit more thought would have helped, right? Because I could have held on to a card for that, but there's no guarantee you're going to have what you want. So Z88, what's it armed with? An autocannon in the front. It's got a big speed. I don't know that I want to give up that speed. This sucks. I don't get the RAM on this if I grab a RAM car. How's Owl? Owl is undamaged. See, I could ram into it. No, I can't ram into it. Okay. Without the ram, fuck it. I guess we just shoot forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I could push it, or I could shift. And now I'll fire my autocannon. And I think it's just a straight autocannon on this. I gotta check again. I got a 3 that'll hit it. I wasn't counting on hitting it. And it does 2 hit points to the Owl. Uh-oh. I just blew through a thing. That's this. One of these goes away, and I get 2 victory points for crossing the line now. This is weird. What's it supposed to represent? I don't know. It's the race bonus. Pew, pew, pew! The next car to cross the finish line gets 2 laps instead of 1. Yeah, I mean, whatever. Owl took these hits. Again, this is very much an abstract game. Doesn't feel anything like a real race. It just doesn't. Neither the victory conditions nor anything else. Like, I could see something being granted, but this idea of how many times do you pass the finish line feels weird as hell. Where's Purple's last car? Over there, trying to drag that thing. It is, I don't know, that looks like Chinese, it's 121. It looked like Chinese symbols to me, just because I'm reading it upside down. 121. Speed 6 with a machine gun front bonus. Wouldn't mind slamming into somebody if it comes into that. But I'm pretty much forced into this. This big solo movement. It's a nice card and everything, but I get to drag this guy along with me. Which means, what did I say? Speed 6. So that's a 9. So I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is perfect. I get myself in the line with this guy, and I get to fire my +1 machine gun at a 3. That works. I do a whole hit point of damage on car 300. And we're at the last of all the cars for this sequence, which is a black car there, 79. There's another black car here. Do I want to catch up with him? Not particularly. I want to hook into that big line there. This is a nice card. But I think, you know, because it's +4 instead. 79 is speed 7 with a machine gun turret. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I need the full +4 to catch up. Would have liked to have rammed instead. Let me just make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And we end up like this. I draw a card. I'm now linked with, you know, 3 of my cars in the link, which is cool. Bottomed out. All cars in the jump section, that's no one, take damage. Okay. And that puts me to shooting. Shooting at a 2 with no bonuses on a machine gun. I hit. I do +1 and a suppression on it. Okay, so we get a suppression, and we're here at LZ3, which is facing the wrong way. LZ3 takes another hit. And we've made it around the cycle again, and I'm out of battery. Once again, we dumped cards. People holding a few, nobody holding more than 1. And now we look for damage. 5, 6, 7. That's pretty big. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Pink also has it, but they're not allowed. 3, 6, 9. Black wins the first player, and it flips over. I think I should load this one up. I forgot everybody loses one of these. For another victory point. Interesting circumstance to look at. Pink is going to go kind of early in the turn. They got a couple of cars that can cross here, grab a couple double points. They're probably going to want to, and I don't know if I held on to something. I held on to a fucking big ram movement. But I'll get something that lets me either push or pull both of these across the line. This is definitely worthwhile, right? I get an extra lap for 2 of my cars. Boy, I want to do that. And I get to go second. And it's not like Black's going to be able to fuck with me before that. So you can see someone got a big bonus out of this little extra bonus flag for people who cross in the next 15 minutes only. It's an interesting game. The gameplay mechanisms are interesting. They're fun. They're taxing, though. And I know it's funny because everybody who talks about it seems to think that this is just such a quick play game and everything. I'm finding it really hard to figure out where I'm going and whatever, and I have to keep looking up the cards and everything. I'm sure once you get really, really familiar with the game, yes, it becomes fun and easy. You know, and if you're already addicted to Thunder Alley or whatever, this isn't going to be that much harder. I'm told. I looked at another reviewer, the Discriminating Gamer. I like watching him as well. Sometimes he has some things that I enjoy seeing. Again, no mention of how, I wouldn't expect it from him at all. I kind of expect that Marco would kind of have some idea about simulation value to a game, given the war game, the earlier wargaming emphasis. But yeah, just nothing at all from either of them about it. And it's like, how can you not, like, how can you not just rebel against cars going multiple times as fast because they're part of a pack? It's, you know, I mean, you're talking about a little bit of wind resistance being cut off from both sides, really, because it actually does. In certain tracks, it does funnel. And act sort of as a wind foil for the rear for the front car, like having a car behind you helps, and having a long line of cars may help even more. But it's not going to multiply your speed, and that's what it actually does here. Maybe not precisely, you know, like this line may not go 5 times as fast. It would if it all worked together. But because there's jockeying and everything, it doesn't really. But it works 2 or 3 times faster. A car on its own just can't, not only can't keep up, but is just going to be lapped again and again. Anyway, I think we'll load this one up. I'll put this here to remind me it's the beginning of the turn and we have to draw new cards.